Jana Duggar, a member of the famous Duggar family, was born on January 12, 1990 in Tontitown, Arkansas. She is the first daughter and the oldest of the 19 children born to Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. The Duggar family gained widespread media attention through the reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting, which aired on TLC for several seasons. The show, along with the family's strict conservative Christian values and large family dynamic, made the Duggars a well-known household name. Jana Duggar, often called the Duggar family's firstborn, has lived much of her life in the public eye. Growing up in a home where the Duggars valued homeschooling, strong religious faith, and a large, close-knit family unit, Jana's formative years were heavily influenced by her parents' ideals. Like many of her siblings, she has been taught to embrace traditional gender roles, which often emphasized homemaking, cooking, and caring for younger siblings. Jana, in particular, has often been shown taking on significant responsibility within the family, frequently stepping into the role of caregiver for her younger brothers and sisters, even as a child. Despite her significant role in the Duggar household, Jana has often been perceived as a more reserved and independent individual compared to some of her other siblings, especially when it came to her romantic life. For years, speculation about her relationship status was common, as she remained unmarried well into adulthood, which contrasted with the family's typical practices, where daughters usually married young and started their own families soon after. Jana's relationship with her now husband, Wisman, became a subject of interest for fans of the Duggar family, especially since she had never publicly been in a serious relationship before her engagement. Wisman, a man from a similarly large conservative Christian family, married Jana in September 2023, after a period of courtship and a traditional engagement. The Wisman family, like the Duggars, adheres to strong religious convictions, and their values align with the Duggar family's emphasis on faith, family, and traditional gender roles. Jana Duggar's family background. Jana's family background is rooted in a deeply conservative Christian lifestyle. Her father, Jim Bob Duggar, a former Arkansas state representative, and her mother, Michelle Duggar, who homeschooled their children, were the foundation of the Duggar family's beliefs. Their conservative values emphasized modesty, home-centered education, and a commitment to living out their faith. The Duggars belong to the Independent Baptist denomination, which strongly emphasizes biblical teachings, modesty, and abstinence before marriage. This philosophy shaped how Jana and her siblings were raised, and the family's public image has often revolved around these values. Jana's parents, Jim Bob and Michelle, also adopted a controversial and well-known approach to parenting known as quiverful, a movement that encourages large families and leaves family planning in the hands of God. The Duggars have spoken frequently about their belief that children are a blessing from God, and that parents should be open to having as many children as God sees fit. This belief led to the Duggars having 19 children, all of whom were raised under the same strict Christian principles. Growing up in a family with such a large number of siblings meant that Jana often took on significant caregiving responsibilities. She has been frequently described as a mother figure to her younger siblings, particularly after the birth of her younger brothers and sisters. In interviews, Jana has expressed a deep love for her family and a sense of pride in helping care for her siblings, although this role sometimes meant that her own personal dreams and desires were placed on the back burner. Despite her role as the oldest daughter, Jana has shown an interest in pursuing her own goals and talents. She has a passion for photography, interior design, and other creative endeavors, but often struggled to balance these personal interests with the family's expectations. In some ways, Jana's path has been defined by the expectations placed on her as the oldest daughter in a large family. There was a strong emphasis on family unity and service, which sometimes left her own personal ambitions less of a priority. Jana Duggar's relationship with Wisman. Jana Duggar's courtship and eventual marriage to Wisman in 2023 was a highly anticipated event among Duggar family fans. The couple's relationship was a topic of speculation for several years before they officially became a couple. Stephen Wisman, a pilot and businessman, comes from a similarly large conservative family. His parents, like Jana's, place great importance on family and religious values. Stephen's background in aviation and his career choices have helped to establish him as an independent, ambitious individual, though his worldview remains closely aligned with Jana's, centered on faith and the desire to build a family. Stephen and Jana's courtship followed the Duggar family's traditional method of dating, which often emphasizes keeping physical boundaries and avoiding any form of intimate contact before marriage. The couple became engaged after a period of courtship, which is a practice common among conservative Christian families who believe in the importance of spiritual guidance before entering into marriage. This type of relationship model is deeply rooted in the Duggar family's values, and the couple's relationship mirrored the courtship traditions practiced by Jana's siblings. Jana's relationship with Stephen Wisman was a departure from the typical Duggar courtships of her younger siblings. For years, many fans had speculated about why Jana had not yet entered into a relationship or married, especially since many of her younger siblings had already married and started families. Some speculated that she might have preferred to remain single, while others suggested that she simply hadn't found the right person. When Stephen Wisman was introduced as Jana's courting partner, many fans were excited to see her finally enter into a serious relationship. The couple's wedding in September 2023 marked the beginning of a new chapter for Jana, and the Duggar family supporters celebrated the milestone with enthusiasm. Stephen Wisman's background and influence on Jana. Stephen Wisman was raised in a family similar in many ways to the Duggars. His parents, like Jim, Bob, and Michelle, are devout Christians and have instilled in Stephen a strong faith and a commitment to traditional values. The Wisman family lives by principles that are closely aligned with the Duggar family's beliefs, which made Stephen an appealing match for Jana. Stephen is described as a man who values hard work, personal responsibility, and family, and these traits likely drew him to Jana and her family. Stephen's career as a pilot has also influenced his lifestyle and choices. Pilots often have schedules that allow for a certain amount of flexibility, which may have appealed to Jana as she navigated her responsibilities within her own family. Stephen's focus on his career and his ability to live independently may have been an appealing contrast to the often close-knit, family-oriented environment that Jana grew up in. The couple's decision to marry also suggests that they found a balance between their faith, family values, and the desire to build a life together. In many ways, Stephen Wisman represents a natural evolution in Jana's journey. Growing up in a family that prioritized faith, service, and family life, Jana's relationship with Stephen appears to be a continuation of these principles. As Jana steps into marriage, it is likely that she will continue to hold to the values and beliefs that shaped her upbringing, while also learning to navigate the challenges and opportunities that come with building her own family. Conclusion: Jana Duggar's background is one that is deeply rooted in faith, family, and conservative Christian values. Raised in a home where religion was central to daily life, she was expected to take on a significant role in her family as the oldest daughter. Her life, in many ways, has been defined by her commitment to her siblings and her family, as well as her desire to follow the values set out by her parents. Her marriage to Stephen Wisman in 2023 marks a new chapter in her life, as she transitions from the role of caretaker for her younger siblings to a wife and eventually likely a mother. Stephen, from a similar family background, shares many of the values that shaped Jana's worldview, and their relationship reflects the traditional courtship and marriage practices that have been central to the Duggar family's beliefs. Jana Duggar's story is one of personal growth, faith, and love. While her path may have been influenced by the expectations of her family, her marriage to Stephen Wisman signifies her